Burning Man attendees are burning out. The music festival in Nevada's Black Rock Desert got messy over the weekend.
A lonely stretch of cracked earth suddenly turns into a blazing dreamscape every single year. And stepping onto that dust feels like walking into another planet's sunrise. Tens of thousands shake off city life, roll across empty highways, and finally spill into Nevada's Black Rock Desert, ready to build a place that lives on imagination alone. For 7 dizzying days, the normal world melts away, replaced by a handmade metropolis where art towers over the sand, music pulses right through your ribs, and strangers greet one another like a long-lost family. In this story, we will plunge into that wonderland, uncover the secrets that keep people returning, and show why Burning Man sets so many hearts on fire. Origins that still glow. Burning Man began as 1 week of pure daring that centers on community, art, self-expression, and self-reliance. And those 4 ideas power every heartbeat on the playa. Each late August, the Western Desert hosts a massive gathering where anyone can arrive with nothing more than dreams and leave knowing they helped raise a full city. The climax crackles on the Saturday night before Labor Day, when a gigantic wooden effigy called a man erupts in flame and paints the sky in orange sparks that rain down on cheering faces. Black Rock rises. Since 1991, this ritual has unfolded in Black Rock City, a pop-up settlement almost 100 miles from Reno, anchored on a wide, dry lakebed known as the Black Rock Desert. In just a few days, volunteers map streets, mark camping zones, and build a central open space called the playa, showing that teamwork can tame even alkaline dust. 10 ideas carved in fire. Founder Larry Harvey wrote 10 guiding ideas: radical inclusion, gifting, decommodification, radical self-reliance, radical self-expression, communal effort, civic responsibility, leaving no trace, participation, and immediacy. These principles are not gentle suggestions, but the city's unwritten law, shaping how people share food, respect the land, and treat one another from sunrise to moonset. No spectators allowed. There is no superstar headliner, because every participant becomes a show, building interactive sculptures, art cars covered in LEDs, and quests that turn dust into delight. Each year, the Burning Man project announces a theme, like rites of passage or animalia, and that single word sparks hundreds of creations sprawled across the playa, from underground to unmissable. What began as an underground refuge for free spirits now draws social media creators, Hollywood icons, and Silicon Valley innovators, a mix that pushed attendance to about 78,850 in 2019. Yet the vibe stays playful because the 10 principles refuse to bow to celebrity culture, reminding every visitor that status counts far less than generosity, creativity, and sweat. Who runs the party? The nonprofit Burning Man Project, formed in 2013, guides the vision after taking charge from Black Rock City LLC, which still handles on-site logistics. This umbrella group also sparks regional burns, from Africa Burn in South Africa to Kiwi Burn in New Zealand. So people worldwide can test these ideas without flying to Nevada. Tiny beginnings, huge flames. Everything traces back to a smaller beach burn on June 22, 1986, when Larry Harvey and Jerry James set their first 8-foot wooden figure alight on San Francisco's Baker Beach, stunning a modest crowd. For years later, a caravan labeled Zone Trip No. 4 hauled the concept into the Black Rock Desert, and that single night birthed the modern festival, a living gallery in scorching heat. Every year, blistering temperatures climb past 100 degrees Fahrenheit, yet hundreds of artists arrive to turn the flats into a glowing gallery, and devoted attendees, called burners, cross oceans to witness it. When so many dreamers share the same dust, reality peels away, revealing an alternate world accessible only inside that temporary city. Images from the playa show monumental sculptures, neon nights, and joyful faces, offering outsiders a small glimpse of what burners feel when they ride a bike through purple dawn. Those pictures spread across social feeds and spark wild dreams in people who have never touched this desert. Radical inclusion roars. Burning Man keeps its magic because the 10 principles are more than words. They're the bones of the city, and every visitor promises to honor them. The first rule, radical inclusion, throws the gates wide open so nobody stands on the outside, no matter their race, gender, age, or background. That embrace turns a festival into a mosaic of cultures where people who often feel invisible at home suddenly stand celebrated, their voices ringing through megaphones and music stages. Gifting over buying. Money loses its power here, because gifting replaces commerce, meaning you might receive iced coffee or a hand-drawn portrait without spending a cent, and the joy is contagious. Decommodification bars advertising, so big logos vanish, leaving art and conversation free from corporate sway, and you realize how peaceful a landscape looks without billboards. Rely on yourself, then help the group. Radical self-reliance asks everyone to bring enough water and tools to survive. Yet communal effort encourages sharing those resources once camp is built. Civic responsibility reminds burners to drive safely, support consent, and keep sound systems quiet near medical tents, proving that wild creativity can coexist with care for safety. Leaving no trace might be the toughest rule, because every scrap of glitter and every peanut shell must vanish by week's end, leaving the lake bed clean. Participation commands you jump in rather than stand aside, and immediacy urges people to live in this very second, savoring sunrise over distant mountains more than any phone screen. Electric art that shakes the sky. Remember science class when the teacher rolled out a Van de Graaff generator and tiny lightning lifted your hair? That tingling blend of curiosity and nervous laughter never left our memories. Now imagine that device scaled to house size, roaring bolts high above the tents. This monster lives on playa and invites crowds to gather under a homemade thunderstorm. The arcs are so bright the whole city gasps together, turning an experiment once stuck in classrooms into a nightly show nobody forgets. Such jaw-dropping installations usually sit behind ropes in museums. Yet here everyone can wander right up, watch sparks dance, and feel part of performance. Celebrities stand shoulder to shoulder with engineers and first-time burners, their differences erased by the shared awe of neon lightning. You might sip donated iced tea with a new companion, while violet branches crackle overhead, and the moment brands itself into memory forever. Costumes that rewrite reality. As dawn breaks, you will see mirrored armor cycling beside feathered capes, and the swirl of color makes the horizon look like a moving painting. Outfits range from steampunk gowns that glitter at sunrise to minimalist wraps that battle the heat, and each costume announces, "I am the art too," with joyful defiance. Everything everywhere seems to sparkle, and clothing tells stories as powerful as any towering sculpture, weaving personalities straight into the air. Why it matters long after the fire. When a man falls and the temple burns the next night in a hush of reflection, thousands stand arm in arm, letting smoke carry written prayers into the star-studded sky. Driving home through dawn traffic, dusty cars line the highway, and even in that exhaustion everyone waves because radical inclusion still rides in their chest. Back in daily life, burners clean local parks, start free libraries, or teach Weldon teenagers, proving the principles continue far beyond the desert. Burning Man is not only an event, it is a rehearsal for a kinder, bolder society, and each year the playa reminds us that imagination, shared work, and fierce kindness can build a city from dust. Dress to impress. Step onto the playa and it feels like the widest runway on earth. Only the sand is your carpet, and the sun itself is the spotlight. Fashion here is not a side act. It roars as a headliner, bursting with color, texture, and bravery. People roll in from across oceans, peel away the rules they follow back home, and invent new identities right in the dust. Shorts flip into capes, goggles become jewelry, and every outfit shouts a story you have never heard before. Mad Max inspiration tears across the desert like a chrome thunderstorm. Leather vests, spiked shoulder pads, and soot-streaked goggles flash in the heat, making burners look ready to race down some wild post-apocalyptic highway. Yet that gritty edge is only one spark in a blazing wildfire style. Neon tutus spin beside mirrored jackets, while rainbow body paint turns skin into moving murals that glow under ultraviolet lights. Even practical gear turns artistic. Bandanas dyed like sunset shield mouths from dust storms, and hydration packs get coated in sequins, so they sparkle at sunrise. Function and flair shake hands and dance. When daylight fades, outfits evolve again. LED robes flicker like galaxies, L-wire skeletons sprint across the dark, and glowing fur coats ripple in the chill night air. The city becomes a walking light show, and you are invited to plug in. One famous photo from 2017 shows a woman wrapped in a swirl of colors so bright they almost color the wind itself. Her look proves that freedom and creativity write the real dress code here. Each costume tells a tale. Some whisper about childhood movies, some honor distant cultures, and others simply laugh at gravity with glitter and feathers, making a statement. Why does a fashion fire burn so hot? Total freedom to speak with cloth, metal, or paint. Is that towering feather collar a fierce protest or simply playful joy? Nobody can be sure, and that mystery keeps eyes pinned to the scene. Each person packs a suitcase full of memories and hopes, so two people can stare at the same headpiece and imagine totally different meanings. That swirl of viewpoints is part of the festival's deep magic. Here the line between art and outfit melts away. You might bump into someone dressed like a silver comet and wonder if they challenge ideas about speed, space, or just enjoy how the wind feels against chrome fabric. Words fade, but outfits roar. A single look can honor climate action, question consumer culture, or celebrate pure silliness. And the viewer decides which. Endless layers of interpretation spark endless chats around campfires. Burning Man cheers every leap past the ordinary. Push a boundary, twist a norm, and meet applause instead of judgment. Whether you map a costume month in advance or toss on sparkles at dawn, the playa greets your spark with open arms, painting on your individuality. Remember begging for face paint at the fair and ending up with a shaky butterfly instead of the superhero you hoped for? Burning Man revives that dream in blazing color. Artists from 5 continents set up pop-up studios under shade cloths and turn human skin into art galleries. One minute your cheeks are bare, and the next they blaze with cosmic spirals or ancient tribal paths. Some choose a quick streak of neon to match their goggles and then dive into a dance pit. Others sit for an hour while painters layer dots, lines, and crystals that gleam under moonlight. The diversity of styles blows every mind. You might walk away sporting Maori curves, cyberpunk circuits, delicate watercolors, or a playful cartoon fox nose. All in a single afternoon. Paints range from gentle water-based palettes to long-lasting alcohol inks that survive sweat and dust. Biodegradable glitter keeps the earth safe while still sending sparks through the air. Here are smart tips to keep that masterpiece shining. Cover skin with sunscreen first, so bright colors do not bake. Dab barrier cream on sensitive areas. Sip water nonstop, and duck in the shade when the sun turns fierce. Pat sweat dry and patch paint during breaks, and you will glow all night long. Radical self-expression and radical inclusion hold this living gallery together. Wearing paint that screams your personality invites others to reveal theirs, and friendships spark like flint on stone. Language of the festival. Words carry power, and burners craft fresh ones to keep the community tight. Learning this playful vocabulary turns every greeting into a secret handshake. Playa is the vast cracked lakebed where every dream rises. Say see you on the playa, and you promise adventure under endless blue sky. Burners are the people who brave dust storms and unleash pure creativity. Calling someone a burner is a badge of honor because it means they live the 10 guiding principles. Whiteout is a sudden dust storm so thick you cannot see your own boots. During a whiteout, people stand still, share goggles, and laugh at nature's wild curtain. MOP means matter out of place, anything that does not belong on the desert floor. Everyone scans the ground for stray sequins or bottle caps, determined to leave no trace. Temple Burn is a Sunday night ritual when a wooden sanctuary packed with personal notes and memories rises in silence, then crumbles in fire, releasing both grief and gratitude to the night sky. Mutant vehicles rumble by like roaming sculptures. These rides transform normal cars into dragons, space whales, or rolling cupcakes, turning transportation into a parade of wonder. Theme camps serve as home bases built by groups that gift something special to the city. You might sip iced lemonade in one camp, learn poi spinning at another, and relax in a music dome next door. Exodus is the patient crawl out of Black Rock City when the week ends. Even that traffic becomes part of the adventure, filled with horn symphonies and goodbye hugs. Using this lingo binds newcomers and veterans in a shared rhythm. Speak it and doors swing wide, proving language can weave community as tightly as any art project. Prepping for the playa, the outfit adventure often starts months earlier. Burners raid thrift shops and junkyards, rescuing forgotten items and turning trash into treasure. A broken umbrella might grow into shiny wings, and soda tabs can link into a glimmering vest. Upcycling proves that style and sustainability can dance together while saving money. Sewing circles spark in garages, where friends stitch LED strips onto coats and share tips on dust-proof closures. Planning becomes part of the party, building excitement long before the first sunrise on the playa. Layer magic. Desert days bake and desert nights bite. So smart burners layer outfits like living onions. Light cotton keeps heat away at noon, and fuzzy cloaks lock warmth after sunset. LED strips must be wired safe, so battery packs sit in secure pockets, far from sweat. Quick-release clips let dancers spin freely without tangling. Gentle goodbye. When the music fades, face paint wipes off with coconut oil and soft cloths. Washing away the color reminds everyone that art can be temporary, yet still change a heart forever. So pack your visions, stitch some sparkle, and ride into Black Rock ready to rewrite reality. Because the playa is waiting, and it loves a daring story. Crowning glory. Jewels once blazed like silent crowns on every ruler's body, roaring, "I own the kingdom!" Kings and queens stack gold and gems not just for shine, but to shout power across the ages. Step onto the playa, and you can sparkle just as boldly. Burning Man overflows with handmade necklaces, copper ear cuffs, and towering crystal headpieces that finish each costume with a gasp-worthy flash. Out here, artisans swap sterling pendants for painted goggles or bead-woven bracelets for a warm breakfast. Money never changes hands, yet value flows in every direction. This living bazaar turns trade into friendship. You hand over a brass ring, return with a watercolor, and leave feeling richer than any monarch because the true treasure is connection. Ice and coffee only. Picture a city of nearly 80,000, where the only official stores sell frozen cubes and hot java. Wild, right? Yet that simple rule guards Burning Man's soul. Radical self-reliance means you pack water, snacks, and sunscreen, then share them with strangers who soon become campmates. Need a pancake at sunrise? Follow the smell of batter. No cash, just gratitude. Trade a sketch for a smoothie, or gift a song for a sprinkle of glitter. The gift economy turns every corner into a surprise. Camps pour free chai, offer hand-sewn patches, or host dance classes lit by neon rope lights. All because giving feels better than buying. No hawkers, no price tags. Only kindness is currency, proving community beats commerce every single sunrise. Trash trouble. Leave no trace stands carved in the desert wind. Yet keeping the promise grows tougher each year. Most burners haul every crumb back out, but thousands of visitors mean some litter slips into ditches and nearby Gerlach streets, dimming the festival's glow. Plastic bottles and snack wrappers spark protests from locals and warnings from the Sierra Club, which counted over 100,000 stray containers last year. Organizers answer with more recycling stations, MOP, Matter Out of Place patrols, and sunrise cleanup parades that scoop up glitter before the wind can scatter it. The goal: match our environmental footprint to the delicate lizard tracks already etched in the dust. The challenge is huge, yet the playa community fights to prove art and ecology can dance together without tripping. Heartbeat of the playa. Walk through the gate and ordinary labels dissolve. Race, job title, hometown gone. Suddenly every face smiles like family, ready to loan water or wrap you in a dusty hug. Need help pitching a tent? 5 burners appear with rebar and mallets. Thirsty? Someone hands over frozen watermelon chunks before you can ask. Here, nobody spectates. Everyone joins. If welding a 12-foot phoenix isn't your skill, you might spin poi at sunset, serve omelets at dawn, or guide lost cyclists back to camp. Participation stitches thousands of tiny acts into one giant heartbeat, pounding so loudly that people return year after year just to feel it boom in their chest. The temple's silent fire. Inside a hush thick as smoke, burners pin letters, photos, and tiny toys on the timber walls that will soon rise in flames. Tears fall, hugs tighten, and grief mingles with gratitude under the desert sky. Artist David Best built the first modest shrine in 2000 after losing a dear friend, and that spark grew into today's soaring masterpiece. Part cathedral, part diary. On the final night, the city watches in reverent quiet as the temple ignites, lifting prayers and ashes into starlight, A cathartic release that lets sorrow transform into strength. Meditation, forgiveness, reunion. It all lives within those wooden beams, reminding every witness that even pain can blaze a path toward peace. Ticket twist. Last year's unseasonable downpour turned the playa into sticky clay, trapped vehicles, and tipped over porta potties. Rough memories that cooled some wallets this season. To reignite excitement, organizers launched the OMG ticket sale, opening seats less than 3 weeks before opening day. $575 plus fees for an on-demand shot at Dust and Wonder. Some veterans cheer the spontaneity, claiming it revives the renegade spark of earlier burns. Others worry late sales blur careful prep and strain resources, but the experiment beats empty tents. If weather stays clear, expectations soar for smoother roads, cleaner camps, and a comeback story hotter than the man's final blaze. Think the last-minute ticket drop is genius or gamble? Tell us below. Smash like, tap subscribe, and keep the conversation glowing. Ready for more desert dreams? Click the next video on your screen and dive back into the dust with us.